What's up, everyone? Before we get started, I just want to make a quick disclaimer that the experiences I'm about to share are cool and exciting, but not all of these beings have our best interests in mind. Some are negatively polarized beings who seek to manipulate others for self-gain or to lure you onto the path of self-service. In other words, the dark side. We as a collective species still haven't gotten over the fact that we aren't alone, which would give any negative, higher density beings a chance to draw people in, disguised as something godly or almighty, but in reality are just deceiving and taking advantage of our species' naivety. Like I said before, these beings are here to elevate us to the next level of consciousness. Whether we elevate to the next level positively polarized or negatively polarized doesn't matter. We're all still a part of the same whole. But how we come to the decision to go either way has to come from within and shouldn't be tampered by another being. My point in saying this is that contacting these ETs may be exciting and cool, but there are other beings out there that will take advantage of our excitement and honest intentions for their own self-gain. Keep this in mind when doing these meditations. Alright, no more public service announcements. Let's get into it. As I said in the last video, my experience with the orb in the sky, which I now know was a negative being, is what initially sparked my interest in CE5. After that, I was out there every night trying to call them back or start to build some sort of relationship to bridge the gap between our worlds. But every time I went out, I got nothing. A week went by, still not much. The only thing that happened was, as I was meditating, I was starting to see some large room on what I thought to be a spacecraft of some sort, with controls and technology everywhere. As I went to look around, this creature stepped right in front of my face with a confused, "Why are you on my ship?" look on its face. It was almost like I was watching TV and someone walked right in front of me as I was watching. It actually startled me and I physically flinched, which snapped me out of the meditation. I thought that was just my imagination until later when I found out what it really was. After that, I kept going out every night and doing my meditations, projecting my consciousness into the universe, but every night nothing would happen. At this point, it had been a month since I saw the little thing walk in front of me, and about a month and a half since I saw the red ball in the sky. And I was just about over it, feeling annoyed and not really wanting to try again. On one particular day, I was in a really weird mood and just felt cloudy and out of it, almost like I was sleeping the whole day. So that night, I felt like I just needed to clear my mind, so I went onto the roof to watch the stars and just relax. When I got up there, I was watching a few videos on my phone when I got this strong sensation to close my eyes and try to meditate. Being in the mood I was in, I ignored it, but every time I tried to, it got stronger, to the point where I could physically feel this call in my head, telling me to close my eyes. After an hour of fighting this urge, I finally broke, turned off my phone, and closed my eyes. For the first 5 or so minutes, nothing happened, and I thought to myself, here we go again. But the urge was still there, telling me to hold on. Some more time went by, then suddenly out of the darkness, almost like someone took a blindfold off of my eyes, I started to see some sort of symbol. It was a diamond with a weird S and upside down 1 looking shape on it. This is what's now our logo, and as I said in our previous video, it stands for love for all and can be said, in our language at least, as in Kosne. The material of the symbol almost looked like brushed steel, but it was black or space gray and appeared to be made of some sort of natural material. As I moved back, I saw the symbol was on a craft of some sort that looked to be made of the same material. The craft looked like an upside-down 4-sided pyramid with a small half-dome on the top. As I was seeing this in my meditation, I was getting really excited because I knew this wasn't my imagination. I was just watching it like a television, just taking everything in. A split second after seeing the whole craft, a being appeared in front of me that was huge. I'd say he was about 8 feet tall with very broad shoulders and a skinny neck. His head was small, but he had very large, compound-looking eyes, and instead of a mouth, he had mandibles very similar to this. He appeared to have some sort of suit on because when he went to shake my hand, the arm almost felt robotic, like some sort of synthetic biology. As he shook my hand, he said to me, "It's nice to finally meet you." And when he said this, the feeling of protection and almost leadership came over me. So I assume he has that role wherever he comes from. One thing about this place is, when things happened or were said, nothing ever needed to be communicated verbally. You could just feel it. He never physically said, "It's nice to finally meet you," but the feeling of a long time passing and wanting to reach out and finally being able to do so is more so what he portrayed. Language and the way we perceive it can be very limiting at times, which can blur a message or hide one's true intentions, making it easy to deceive and lie. The way these beings communicate is through emotion, but deeper. It's impossible to hide their intentions from others because their ideas become your ideas and vice versa. This ties into the universal language, and I'll definitely go more in depth on that in another video. But for now, back to the story. After this happened, the void or in-between realm that we were in got bigger, and I could now feel that others were there. I looked to my left and saw another craft, this one shaped almost like your typical flying saucer. There was a very human-shaped person leaning against this craft, with long hair covering his face. He didn't say much, I just got the feeling that he was standoffish and trying to figure me out before he did anything. Next, I looked down and saw this little creature that had to be no more than 3 feet tall. He was running toward me with arms in the air, and a feeling of excitement and friendliness came over me, like we knew each other. It was only then that I realized that the creature I had seen step in front of me on that ship a month prior was actually him, and he remembered me from then, so I found that kind of cool. I could feel a fourth being in another very large ship to my far left, but when I went to look, I wasn't able to, almost like I was being blocked. I just shrugged it off though and turned back to the 3 that pretty much just introduced themselves to me. I then realized that I didn't introduce myself back, so I began to say my name, where I was from, and that I appreciate them coming to me or answering my call. As I was saying this, the feeling that they knew everything I said before I said it came over me, and that they were just letting me babble because they knew in human customs we introduce ourselves or greet others back, especially if they just introduce themselves to you. They let me go for about a minute, where I told them how I'm ready to take the steps and learn the lessons to get to where they are. And as I said that, the being that was leaning against the ship made a gesture that silenced me, almost saying, "Okay, now it's time to watch." As he did that, I shot out of my body, now seeing myself in third person, as well as all the other beings in the void realm. And then simultaneously, all of our bodies split down the middle, and then peeled away, and from our bodies rose this blue light energy. I looked around, and as our bodies peeled away, we all looked exactly the same. After this happened, the most beautiful feeling came over me that even though all of us are from totally different parts of the universe, we didn't just look the same, but we were the same. As this feeling came over me, all of us shot straight up into this vast white energy. The only way I can explain it is that I literally could feel everything at the same time. And I don't mean everything on our planet, I mean everything in our universe. I could feel the energy of everything that existed, and I couldn't get over how vast it was. I could feel where my meditating body laid on the roof. I saw all of the trees around me peel and go into this white everything. I could feel the mice that were in the backyard and a bat that was on the tree in front of me. It was almost like somehow I was feeling everything at the same time. After that, I felt myself flying insanely fast away from Earth and through the stars. The feeling that they were taking me to see where they come from came over me. but just before we got there, one of my friends came onto the roof, and that snapped me out of it. I was still mentally in the whiteness, so even though my eyes were now open, I felt this energy in every one of my cells that I couldn't contain. It felt almost like if I were to jump, I'd start flying, and the only thing holding me down was this physical body. My friend asked me if I was okay because she could feel something was different about me. So I told her what happened, and she was mind blown, saying she could feel the energy coming off of me. If I had to guess how long the whole experience took, I'd say it felt like maybe 5 minutes maximum. But she looked at me and told me I had been on the roof for 2 hours. Up there, time doesn't work the same, or let alone exist. This experience changed the way I see the world and showed me that there's no separation anywhere, and that we all are literally a part of one whole. We all are one. To these beings, this is just how they live, constantly in that state. And when you're always in that state, you can do some amazing things, like speaking telepathically or traveling many times faster than the speed of light. And that's not even scratching the surface. In experiences I've had after this one, they showed me just a few of the other things you can do when you realize this as a collective species or planet. The next day I was thinking about everything that happened and realized if they were able to show me something that literally changed my life and the way I see the universe in what felt like minutes, what else could I learn from them, and how advanced must they actually be? This firmly set the stone in my mind that we really don't know anything about our universe, and just because we can't physically see something does not mean it doesn't exist. We as humans stay in our 3D world, and anything that doesn't fit into this world, we dismiss or call crazy and fake. But we as a species can't make advancements if we don't realize or acknowledge there's something we don't know, or that doesn't make sense to us. Because whether you agree or not, the reality of our universe is set, and if something breaks the laws of what we believe to be unbreakable, then we shouldn't dismiss it. We should change our laws to advance our understanding of reality. That's how we make change. If you get anything from this video though, I want you to realize that a lot of the small things that we face in life that seem like the end of the world simply aren't. We're all a part of something bigger than we can ever imagine, and everything is always happening as it should. Everyone on Earth is here to learn their own lessons, and you can't hold that against someone, because if they don't learn what they need to, they can't evolve to their next level, which in the long run hurts us all as a whole. In order to progress, we need to realize that it's easier to lift someone up than it is to push them down. Once that person is up, they can help another, and maybe even you one day. We're all here to experience this planet, and we chose to be in the position we're in now because we knew that it would push us to learn the lessons our souls need to progress. So stay kind to others and focus on bettering yourself so that you can lift someone else up. If you like this video, definitely share it with someone you think will also find it interesting. My goal is to expose as many people to my experiences as possible, because if they can help even one person find themselves, then that would be enough. So thank you everyone who took the time to watch through, and welcome to the universal community. In Cosne.